Hey, welcome to The Link. The Link is a podcast created to build community through conversation. We focus on the stories of creatives, business owners, community leaders, and all-around interesting people from the community of Lincoln, Nebraska. We welcome you to come learn about your neighbors as we have a conversation with them.
All right.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome to the Link podcast. This episode is super fun. Two brothers again that somehow started selling with a deck of like magic playing cards on eBay.
Playing cards so you can do magic.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know if you...
I don't know. It's a podcast. You just guess, envision for yourself.
Yes.
We don't look at anything here.
Yes. So started by selling a deck of cards, turned to selling an iPod Shuffle, and then literally turned into a six-figure business of reselling shoes and shirts and Nicorette gum.
Whatever, I guess, is super cheap that you can then bump up to still sell, I guess.
Is that a technical business term?
No.
Bump up?
Technical Andy term, I guess.
So these two brothers basically have created a really cool reselling business. They go to outlets, they go to stores that are closing, and then they flip it and resell it on eBay or Amazon or any of those type of places. It's kind of crazy because they're both like, one's just a freshman in college and the other one's like, I believe, a junior in college.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of do this out of their basement. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's just kind of wild to like understand what it, maybe like a day-to-day, but like what it looks like to like go do that. And like it kind of just provides a whole another like look on going to outlet stores, or like just, I'm gonna like look at everything differently now.
Yeah, you can
Like
sell
shopping
everything.
wise, I'm like, that's crazy.
It's amazing. So if you are interested in any sort of things like that, or you're not, and you're thinking, man, I would really like to know how people do this, this is the episode for you.
Yeah.
PickSwap Ungated on Instagram, and PickSwap, what did he say was on TikTok?
TikTok, I don't know. There's some TikTok.
There's something about TikTok in there. That'll be good. You'll love it.
Also, this is sponsored by Carlson Projects. Thank you, Carlson Projects. Podcast.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. This Link podcast. I don't know what episode it's going to turn out to be, but thanks for being here. Jake and Caleb Bowman, another set of brothers that have a really interesting business called PickSwap LLC. It is probably the most like unique thing that you could probably start with two brothers and go into business on, I guess, in my opinion. Give us a little bit of background of like how PickSwap started and like what like drove you to like start doing it and what it is.
I guess I can take this because for like the first 3 months of everything, like I was just doing it by myself. So like I don't remember. I sold something. I was like, I looked up how to sell something on eBay because like I just wanted to sell it. I think it was like a deck of playing cards.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Jake Bowman Magic throwback.
Yeah. So I had a collection of like a lot of playing cards, and I was like, I don't use these at all, and like some of them were worth money. They were like a limited edition deck or something, and so I looked up how to sell it, and I sold it, and then I was like, well, that was kind of easy. And then like a suggested video on YouTube, because that's where I Googled it or searched it, and like YouTube sends you those suggested videos, and then like I found, I think, a video saying like sell stuff on eBay and make money. Clicked on it, and that's like the origin, yeah. And so I went from that, and one of the videos I saw showed me like an app called Let Go. I don't know if it's basically Craigslist but in an app form, and like better interface or whatever. And so they like in the video it told you like things to look for, search, whatever. And like I found an iPod Shuffle. I bought it for $10, sold it for $35, made $15 profit after like fees and everything. Like that was literally like the very start.
That's awesome.
And then just more like it was literally all YouTube. Like I just found like more suggested videos, and then I found I think the shoes kind of like started to come, and I was kind of nervous because like it's like, where am I gonna go? And so like Marshall's is where so that was the first place I went to find shoes.
You probably went before I ever got
Yeah,
involved.
yeah. I went a couple times to Marshall's and stuff, and like people will go there like consistently, and you'll find some stuff. But then I started going, like we went to Gretna, like 45 minutes away for the Nike outlets, and that's like when it started to actually really grow.
So you just like started selling things, and you felt like it was fun. Like what?
Yeah.
Like the first time you sold something, was there like a reaction that you were like, oh, like I could do this more, or like what was the reaction
kind of.
when you did that?
I've always been kind of like looking for unique ways to like make money in a way.
For sure.
Like I worked for like our grandpa and like did yard work. I never was just the conventional go get like a $9
Yeah,
an
like we've
hour
never had
job.
any
Like
sort
that
of
was never
job
like,
that's just
so
a
the
normal
first thing
job.
I don't know when I started like 6th grade maybe working for grandpa, like doing yard work and stuff. That was like, I always enjoyed doing things where it's like I was setting my schedule, I guess, and like like it's not doing yard work for like it's not entrepreneurial really, but it's not just like kind of taking the easy way and like
You're walking away with money in your pocket.
yeah,
And not
something like that. Yeah,
being tied down to like a 9-to-5 job. It's just
yeah, something.
And you were definitely paying taxes too, right?
And then like I mowed the yard for like our neighbor and stuff like that, those sort of things. So it kind of fit into like that's just kind of how I'm wired, I guess. And then so then when I sold the first thing, I was like, that's kind of cool. Like it was a
that
good
was easy?
feeling. Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't I made this $30 and then like move on. Like it like stuck in my brain as like something that's like this kind of works.
So
guess.
when did it turn from like I'll buy a couple shoes, maybe I'll sell them on eBay, to like how many sales do you guys have on eBay now?
Well, record keeping for the first couple months was not good because I didn't think this was gonna be a thing, and like I was literally just like keeping track of like I from the very beginning I was writing everything down in like notes on my phone, like the notes app,
For sure.
just because like I was curious, but not because I was thinking of like I need these records for
like moving
taxes and-
forward.
yeah, for like all that stuff. But I'd say like a rough estimate of sales, and it's been
Like
it's
18 months, I'd say,
since
you like
since
very
I
started.
sold the deck of playing cards.
It's only been that short?
Yeah.
Man, I thought it was longer than that.
No,
That's
and
crazy.
Like the first time we went to the Nike outlets was in the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So sales is like 140,000 probably.
Wow,
in 18
that's
months.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
insane.
And like obviously profit margin is going to vary a ton on
Yeah,
different
exactly.
products.
Profit margin probably like 50,000, 55,000, something like
awesome.
that. Because
Really?
because for like 2019,
Oh,
it's,
you're not. Yeah,
for 2019 it's like 42,000.
Yeah.
So maybe it's probably a little closer to 50 because the first.
That's
Yeah.
insane. So literally, I mean, you probably don't take into account like gas and getting
No,
there and
yeah.
all that stuff.
It's,
but
that's like it's economic profit, I guess you could say. Accounting profit. We're in economics, so.
so then when did like you start going, hey Caleb, I need help with this, or like when did that like happen? When did the convergence happen?
Was more like actually this is a funny story. For the first month or so, I didn't tell my mom because I knew because it was just me going, meeting with people, picking up stuff, paying them cash. And so like I didn't tell her for as little as possible for first month until I'd be like, until it was I had to pay $25. I had a 20 and a 10, and I need a 5. I was like, Mom, can I get a 5? 2 5s for this 10? She's like, why? It's like, well, then I spilled the beans, and she was kind of like, I don't know. But,
I don't know if you should be meeting strangers in parking
so
lots.
that's why I didn't tell her. But then, so yeah, I didn't go to the Nike outlets until like Caleb was with me 3 months in.
Yeah, which
I
is
don't-
like early June.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like ask him for help. It was more just like
Well, you just kind
I
of
had
said
I was telling
you had
so like
seen
since
videos on it.
My family knew what I was doing, and then I was like, Caleb knew about it, and he's like, can I go with you? I was like, yeah, it's sure.
Yeah. Well, I think you said you've seen videos on like doing shoes in particular, and I probably said I was interested in it.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
It wasn't
try
like
it.
I need your
we
help.
need to
It
get
was just kind of
clothes or whatever anyway. So
Yeah.
So basically, the premise of the whole business that you've created is basically finding stuff cheaper
yeah.
and then relisting it on eBay or anywhere you can relist it.
Yeah, so primarily eBay. That was like the start, and then for like shoes, there's an app called Goat, which is like, I'd say like that app is more for like, it's probably towards like limited sneakers, things that go up in value, is where a lot of people sell on. But like it has everything.
and it's supposed to be like they like check the shoes
Yeah,
for you.
so you-
and
you
another
send
app
them
is like
in.
StockX, but we don't use that.
You send them
And
in
it's
to
just, like,
Goat,
very
and they
similar to
verify.
StockX.
It,
So how did you figure out like what was a good deal? You just were like, this looks about right, or are you like in the store like to the side like Googling?
no,
Like,
yeah. So
Well,
we
yeah, that's literally the
it's-
whole thing.
It's literally all it
It's-
is you look up like the style of the shoe, and then like it sounds simple in like when you explain it, or like in
For
theory,
sure.
I guess.
No.
And like it is, but like we definitely improved at it. Like
Yeah,
as
that's
time
what-
goes on.
I don't
anything,
understand.
anything,
do-
anything sounds simple
Yeah.
when you explain it. Like,
like, 'cause we-
I just fix houses,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of things you have to know.
more to it.
There's a lot more you have to know.
I honestly don't understand like how I've improved at it, but
It
I've
doesn't
just
make
gotten
sense
so much better
because we do
Like,
the same things, and like we go through the same thought process, but we're probably more like we probably think more like smart, I guess, about it. Because basically, the simple principle is you see what the price is at the store, and then you look it up and you compare, like you see how many are selling, because there's like a sold tab, and you see how many are listed. If they're like, there's like 250 listed, 2 sold, you're not gonna buy it because it clearly doesn't sell. You look at the market price, you see how high they're listed, what they're selling for. Like that's the gist of it. And like I knew that the first time I went, but we were horrible at it at first.
So then, do you ever get like worried, like, oh, this thing isn't selling at a big box store? Like, if I list it on eBay, would it ever sell?
It depends. I mean, with shoes, it's not really like that. I don't know. Like, what do you mean exactly? Sorry.
Like, to me, I would be scared because it's like, okay, there's thousands of people walking into this.
Yeah.
Like,
Like these things are at an outlet store for a reason.
yeah,
Like what on the internet is it gonna sell for more? Is that what you're asking?
yeah. Like,
Okay.
like, what's the, like, if somebody else could just walk into the outlet store and know that it's that price and just buy it. What's the
Like why aren't they buying it?
yeah? Why aren't they buying
Yeah.
it?
Well, like I guess kind of a good example, which is kind of like a funny story, is like there's these shoes. They were
Are you
like the
talking
Air
about
Force
that?
One foam posits.
Oh,
They're like
purple.
purpley,
Yeah,
like
okay.
reflective, super ugly. And I was like, why would anybody buy these? Like, it made
I
sense
think
why
it's
there's
kind
so
of a
many there.
Nebraska thing. Like, there's different
Yeah,
styles.
but we got like, probably like 20,
I don't
25.
remember. That was
Oh,
really
a decent amount.
That
It was a really long time
early.
ago.
You bought 25 purple pairs of shoes.
Something like that. And like, I'd say over half of them sold to California. So like, it makes sense.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah. And I guess we just look at the market that's online. Like, if they're selling, like, I don't question it. I would never buy 95% of the stuff we sell. I'm like, okay, other people like
Yeah,
it.
the ones
It's
that
okay with me.
say like don't or run. It's a rotten egg or something.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
what was it?
they were like a collab with some like artist or something.
Yeah, they just have
But
these
they like
weird.
did a big production run,
And that's
then
the
no
thing,
one bought
it's
them. They're
a-
like pink and like doodle art on.
So gross.
Oh yeah, last one is a rotten egg. That's
Yeah,
it was like a
last-
quote bubble or something. But the thing is, like a lot of these are very like unique shoes, so they can be like super valuable. Like if you saw a Supreme shirt and you didn't know like that it was a cool shirt, I would be like, what is this? Like it says Supreme. But if somebody else, like when you're going to a wider audience, it ends up being valuable to like more people, because you think, well, 1,000 people are walking through that store. Well, like millions of people use eBay, so it's kind of like
that's
casting
true.
a wider net.
And that's like, people ask like, well, if you were like sell like in like a physical store, like something like that, you don't have to pay the fees and you don't have to pay for shipping. Like, yeah, but you reach like 15 people if you're like promoting.
Yeah, but and you have to
locally.
pay for lights,
Yeah,
electrical,
or people say like if you sell locally,
Like we have sold pairs locally, just did like a couple days ago or whatever.
Barely.
But like
I mean,
super, because you're
less than 1%
especially
of
in
our
Lincoln,
sales.
like you're reaching, I don't know how many people use Facebook Marketplace or whatever, but eBay or online, Amazon, or there's millions of people. So yeah,
I want to jump into some funny stories really quick. One question or one story I thought of was, tell me about when Shopko closed and you were buying stuff. tell me about that.
weird stuff.
That I guess that's mostly me.
Yeah, you did a lot of that.
Yeah. So
you were like,
you guys have probably, like, if you were in Lincoln or even in the whole area, because I've
in
looked up
anywhere basically.
yeah, I mean I've looked up just about every location to see if I could go out there and find more stuff. Like I went to Omaha once, but yeah, so there were 4 Shopkos closing in Lincoln, and one of them was like 2 or 3 weeks before the other ones, and then the other 3 were all closing on the same day. I don't remember. It was like August of this year or something. I don't remember. But
Something like that.
yeah, it was just really strange. Apparently, what I learned about it, like all the prices were just ridiculously high at the start of it, and then they kept going like more percentage off. And apparently, we even talked to the person that we wholesale with, and like they he used to do markdowns, so like everything gets marked up when there's like a closeout, just so they can like make bigger margins, and then they decrease it. So like that wasn't even the price of the original thing. They marked everything up probably, and then they go down.
Interesting.
So like
So if going out of business sale, they mark stuff up,
yeah,
and then as it gets closer to the end, they bring it down. Bring it
yeah.
down.
Like I mean, Amazon is generally probably lower than stores for some things, cause just in general. But literally everything I was looking up on Amazon was the same as their 50% off.
Wow.
Like
weird.
very consistently at that point. So I just kept going in there and like scanning stuff. For Amazon, you scan it, and then we ended up selling more stuff on eBay, because it's like Amazon is very harsh with like how it has to be perfectly new and like nothing with the box or anything
because
bad.
When you sell on eBay, it's like it's coming from you, but Amazon works as you send it to Amazon, and I mean,
What most
literally,
people don't even know.
most people don't know that like over 90% of the stuff you buy on Amazon is coming from people that buy stuff, send it to Amazon, Amazon ships it out to you.
It's actually 54%.
Is it?
Yeah, I did research on it.
Well,
Still, it's a lot.
That's crazy.
With all the stuff that's selling.
yeah.
yeah, like people don't know that. So, and since people don't know that, if they get something with a damaged box and they get mad, then it looks bad for Amazon. So Amazon
And
has to
that's-
defend them.
That's
So
why
that-
people don't know it, is because Amazon has done such a good job of controlling that. Now, it does get to the point where it's almost like anti-competitive, and people with massive businesses, like even the biggest sellers on Amazon, can still sometimes get like shut down for a while. So they have this whole assembly line, and then everything, they just have to stop working because Amazon was like, oh, this was wrong. And then, like they would have.
So it's a
fixed it.
lot harder to like.
It's a lot more risky.
Yeah. And what it really goes into is you want to either start making the products yourself, or start wholesaling. That's what they kind of want you to do, where it's like a higher volume stuff, because Amazon is more higher volume than eBay, which is like you can kind of make
And higher
get
volume
more
means
unique
like you're
sales,
buying from a
units of
distributor, like
sales.
You're buying a
Large
pallet.
boxes with
You're
pallets.
buying a
And you
pallet of
just ship
shoes.
that.
Yeah.
either you bring it into like a warehouse or whatever you're working out of and just like check it, but it's not like you're opening every
And then you just send
Ship
it all.
to them.
Yeah.
mass quantity.
Yeah. So going back to Shopko,
Yeah. Anyways.
so many
Shopko.
tangents that you have to explain. I was just like looking in there. I was in there all the time. Like even the guy who was doing the, what is he even called? A clear markdown clearance closeout. Yeah. Like kind of knew me. And he's like, oh yeah, you go to all my stores, don't you? And so, which he was fine. Like he's trying to sell the stuff. But yeah, I bought some weird stuff like 5 breast pumps. Those sold really well. Probably more than that.
More than 5.
5 of like the same type. And
So
those,
okay, so when you're at the checkout line, were you embarrassed at all, or was it just like,
This is business. I have to do this.
Yeah.
What's that look like?
it wasn't like that weird, especially since I was getting that many. And I think at that point,
feel like that makes it
I
more
was
weird.
getting like a lot of other stuff. I think before that, because I bought a ton of calculators, and I bet that people actually knew me at that point. And so we bought
were
like
good.
30 calculators. Those actually sold really well.
calculators?
Like the
Yeah, Texas.
I mean, I sell a
Instrument.
lot of like used, like of the graphing ones.
Mhm.
Like that's
That's
like not
on
like a
Lego.
lot, but like it's a good just quick flip thing. It sells in
Because
An
every
hour.
student needs one of
Yeah.
those graphic
but
calculators.
these were like
something
the
These are like the simple Texas. They're TI 30s.
30,
Yeah.
like
They
you
were
get them in,
different
like,
colors
elementary,
and
middle
stuff. The
school or
green
whatever.
one is apparently worth like $24 instead of 16.
Great information. If you have
Just
a
in case
green
you guys were
T30 right out there, put it on
Not
eBay.
used.
Get rid of it.
But yeah, there weren't very many of those, sadly. But they were like, what, $5 or something?
Yeah.
And we probably bought them too soon. I don't know. But we just turned around and sold them for like 16 or 17. And so, or when I was checking out of that, the person was like, "Are you a teacher or something?" And I was like, "No." And I mean, even
I just really like math.
like when I'm getting shoes and stuff, people are always looking at me weird. And then I sometimes have headphones in and I'm like, okay, nobody will talk to me then. But people always come in because like they have the earpiece
The
things
employees
and they're
have like a little earpiece.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so they
And
think
so
it's-
they're like, what, like, do you know if you have this in any different sizes? And I'm like, they might. Like, I know enough to probably answer their question, and then, but I like sort of half answer it, and then they're like, well, can you check? And then I'm like, well, I don't work here, so
Oh, so like people walking around the store.
people think I'm always working there, probably because I'm like looking at my phone and stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of weird different things, but yeah, I guess the breast pumps.
We bought like
like
tons of just like random pills,
yeah,
like
pills
medicine, vitamins.
sell really well when they're 90% off. I mean, all like legal stuff, but I checked everything to make sure. It was good,
Interesting. So you just go in and buy a bunch of vitamin C and you can just
but Prevagen, that was that one was
Prevagen.
awesome.
What is it?
Nicorette
Prevagen
gum.
was awesome.
Nicorette gum.
Yeah, it would have been super good, but
What?
you messed up the listing.
What?
You put the wrong milligram
Oh, yeah.
quantity or something for like half of them. And
Well,
then
I
we got
guess
them
it
on
looked
return.
better when
Anyways,
it was confusing.
But yeah, we bought Nicorette gum, pills,
God, what else? Yeah.
baby,
Well, the
baby
weird
food.
thing,
Did
like,
they make you show ID?
that's what I was so confused about. They didn't. Or no, actually
They
they
did.
did. But then I can sell it online. And I looked it up. It's legal.
So like anybody could buy it.
Anybody could buy it.
Super weird.
But I get carded at the store.
That's
That's a conundrum.
It's very strange.
So have you tried buying any recently?
No, because it was like 90% off. That was the only reason. Like we could only buy it at that closeout.
Interesting. Did it sell quick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like liquid gold.
well,
Yeah.
like when you read it, you're supposed to take so much. It's like 8 things a day.
like 8 pieces.
eight
or
pieces
something.
of it. So it just flies. I mean, it's okay. So usually when you see a listing, like you'll be lucky if it has the same amount of listings. That means like people who are trying to sell it
On
as
eBay. Yeah.
on eBay as it has sold in the last like 60 days or something. I've never seen anything like it. Like it had 10 times as many solds as listings for that, and like
So like
Progen and
usually
stuff.
like to give like a baseline for like shoes, for example,
Yeah.
we'll sell up to like if the amount of solds is like a fourth.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the
It
profit
depends
margin.
how. Yeah. But like if there's a fourth as many solds as listings, like that's good enough for us to buy it if there's enough profit margin. But like something, yeah, it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, you just know it's gonna sell
When there's something that
I mean,
many
it sells in
solds
5
compared
minutes.
to
Or
yeah.
So then
like that.
shipping. Do you guys ship everything out yourself from your house, or do you take them somewhere, or how does that work?
Well, we package everything in our
And
house and then
label it,
and
in our
label it.
house.
Yeah,
and
we
then
have
I
like a
just
label
drop
printer
stuff off.
and then just bring it to the post office.
Like everything's stored in your house. You don't have like a storage unit you're working.
No,
out
we
of
have
your
like
house.
a so like before we first started in my room. I have funny pictures of that just like lined up shoes in our like okay, need to move this out of the room. So we moved to our parents' basement because that's like we were living. We were still in high school. You were a freshman in college. I was
Yeah,
senior high school, and then
came back every day.
like we had like shelves just lined up around the walls of our basement, like around the ping pong table. Like my dad, he was like, "This needs to go."
Yeah,
And so then we moved. I graduated high school, and so we have like a house that we live on, like just off of campus.
don't
like family
Don't
owned.
say too many locations here. We have a lot of stuff there.
Just off of campus.
This is the address. Turn left
Yeah,
here.
yeah. To the left,
But,
you'll
like,
find a
and
lot
so-
of shoes.
Our grandpa like had the whole basement renovated for us, and so like it's just like it's literally just this perfect rectangle. We just have all
Yeah.
our shelves in there and stuff, and like a
There you
shipping
go.
station.
Yeah,
So we have like a dedicated space to it now, which is nice.
which is nice. Yeah,
Yeah, like really nice because it's super
Parents
nice.
can't yell at you anymore.
Yeah,
Sell all you want on eBay.
and I have like I have a light box. It's like a black box and has like LED lights and like a white background. It's just sitting on the floor in my room, and I have like so many shoes in there because I'll take one of each different type of shoe that we buy, and I take the photo of it, and I'm just too lazy to bring it from my room after I take the photo down to the basement.
So you
I'm always, like,
actually
knocking on his
photograph,
door, and I'm
photograph
like,
everything.
I photograph
also.
everything. I deleted a ton of photos, but I've probably taken over 20,000 photos
On your phone?
on my phone.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So do you ever like actually want to try and find something in your pictures and you're just like,
Well, that's why I started deleting because I started deleting all those because I'd be like, I couldn't find. I don't take a lot of just. I don't take
random
very many
pictures
other
and-
photos in
Yeah.
general, so it wasn't like that big of a deal. But sometimes it's like, this is kind of insane.
so what's the future look like? Are you guys trying to like really ramp things up? Like you want this to be a $1 million company, or is this like a, hey, we're in college, this is like a great like side income and we just like doing it? Or is this like is there a thought to the future in it, or is it just kind of like a, hey,
Yeah. I mean, we have like kind of a plan that we're trying to go for. So in like May of last year, we were able to like contact a wholesaler, or not contact, but like our grandpa knew somebody who was like in that business, and we were able to like get stuff from them. And then we made like $7,000 in August profit selling that stuff.
like 3 different products. It was
Yeah.
like a seasonal.
Yeah, so just like very seasonal thing. So we're not getting anywhere. Like we basically are making,
So we were selling like at times like 30 to 40 a day,
yeah,
and now we're selling like maybe 1, just because it was
so seasonal.
yeah.
But that kind of helped us see the power of like you can buy this stuff wholesale and
And that stuff was for
sell-
selling on
this is
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
Which means you don't have to take photos, you don't have to ship individual. Like you buy a lot,
yeah,
you
shipping on Amazon is super interesting.
you have to put, like for these are in like cellophane, so we had to put like a sticker warning, like suffocation warning thing. So that was the only kind of like pain to do. But like you just put that on and then you just ship 300 to Amazon. It's not, you don't have to ship 40 a day.
I
So do
literally
they-
ship
horrible.
600 items at the same time.
So does Amazon pay you when you ship everything or when they sell?
When they sell.
When they sell.
Yeah.
So how
And
do
then-
you know when they sell? They
Uh,
like have a barcode or something or what?
Like, or like, how do I know that it's sold?
Yeah, so like you sent them.
Yeah. So, okay. So you have to print, you put like a Amazon label on the package
Well,
and it goes
or-
through their system and they scan it all in.
Yeah, so let me explain the shipping a little bit. And the whole process is pretty complex. But basically what happens is we are sending it through Amazon FBA. So that means it's fulfilled by Amazon instead of FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant. FBM would be like sending it from your house to their house, like eBay. FBA is we send a package full of like a bunch of different items to Amazon. They keep it in their Amazon warehouses. And then when it sells, they take the items that they were storing for you in their warehouses and then they ship it directly to you. And so that's how Prime works. If they didn't have that system, they couldn't ship to you in a day or 2 days. But because of that, they have all their stuff in their warehouse and their like robots take it off the shelf and pick it up
So
and then
genius.
send it to you. Like I've heard the robots literally start moving towards an item like before you even buy it. They're like, oh, I think they're gonna buy this, and so they start moving and then like pick it up and it all just gets packaged and shipped right to your door. But we send in a box of 100 things and then they'll like put it, you know, all
They'll
throughout.
file it wherever they want.
And they'll take your stuff and ship it to other warehouses so it can be closer to your location. And somehow it all gets tracked. I mean, they have to be tracking millions
It's
of
crazy.
individual items that they're all spread across and they know exactly how many they have. And I mean, it's pretty amazing.
So
how
that's
it
the
all
future
works.
plan then. Amazon.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill Amazon.
So we want to.
well, the future is selling on it, but
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
that's what.
Yeah,
never
but
mind.
we like got a course for it and stuff, and we're trying to learn. So basically the hard part is like making deals with suppliers, so like contacting the wholesalers and letting them or them letting you buy their stuff from them so you can go back and sell it on Amazon and like getting it to be a profit. But it's hard to like open those accounts because they often don't want you selling their stuff on Amazon because you can like just not follow the rules and tank the price and stuff.
For sure.
And then
Yeah. This is where it gets like
yeah,
a
it's
lot
pretty
more complicated than just buy low, sell. Yeah. It gets a lot more. Yeah. Like nitty
But
gritty
that's the
details
plan
that are kind of
because
boring.
you can sell so
but that's
high
how you
quantity
sell a lot and
on
make,
Amazon.
actually make money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 grand's not a little bit
Yeah,
of
but then
money.
you split it between two people, and
And
Like if you're trying to make like a full time.
I
living.
I understand that. Yeah, I definitely understand.
And that's
that.
what like it. That's what I like. That'd be pretty cool if
Yeah.
this could actually be like a legit career where like, you know.
I mean, like doing this for like what? It's been what was it like less than 2
18
years
months,
now?
yeah.
Like that's crazy. Just I mean, progress. 50
Yeah.
grand and
yeah,
profit
no,
for
like
this
I
year for just
like
doing
it's
it for
great.
2 years.
Yeah,
That's good progress. I think.
it's good. Like
And he's like, I just love making coffee and talking to people.
I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, the hard thing is like with the shoes, it's not super scalable because you can
For sure.
only
So this
go
is
to
like
so
the
many
next
Nike outlets
step.
in your area.
Yeah, how far do you travel? Like, what's your radius of
Yeah.
outlet stores?
So in the summer, I started hitting maybe every like 2 weeks the Des Moines outlets,
There's 3 in
which
Iowa.
is
Or like close
well,
Iowa.
no, there's one in Gretna.
Yeah.
I hit 3 of them, but I go to like Gretna and then Des Moines, and so that is, yeah.
like
I mean, it
that's
just
a 3-hour
triples the
drive.
amount, but yeah, it's a 3-hour drive, and I wake up at 6, drive all the way out there to hit the first one when it opens because you don't want to like lose out on the opportunity. Somebody else finds like the really awesome shoe that you wanted to get a bunch of, and then go to the next one, somehow eat lunch probably in my car, and then I drive all the way back to Gretna, stop there, and then go home. And
Well,
bring
like
all
being in the
stuff back.
Midwest, like doesn't, because like there's people that live in Texas that
Yeah.
like we follow, and I like that's how we kind of learned a lot of our start. Like they can go to 4 or 5 in like a shorter radius, and like
But there's also more competition.
there, yeah, that's true. But like there's people that do bigger scale than we do with shoes and stuff because of area of location, but still not like to like a
Like there are people who
large, super
legitimately
big
sell
scale.
shoes as their full-time job.
Yeah.
Like that's all they do.
Resell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
From Marshalls, Ross,
Like similar
Nike
to what we
Outlet,
do, but they just can
and they go every
get
day.
a lot more.
Yeah.
How do you think Lincoln has like influenced you to be able to do like what you're doing? Like you kind of said like there's a ton of competition because there's not a lot of people that understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like kind of talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think it's also just like the amount of people too. Like if you're in Dallas, there's just a lot more people that could compete
So
with
like
you.
there's less places to source, but there's less people sourcing,
yeah.
like going out to find stuff. So it's kind of like
Which is why it's not super
Way-
scalable. Like I just go once a week and then like usually the stuff is just there.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't go 2 times a week and find twice as much stuff. I would probably find 10% more if I went twice a week.
But I
So
will say, like, so I did a lot in the summer of like thrifting. So like finding like
That's a
shirts,
whole nother thing
men's
that
shirts.
we
Yeah,
haven't
I
talked
didn't even
about.
talk about that. It's not something I'm thinking like I'm going to continue now that we're moving to Amazon and stuff. But like, a lot of like the people I watch on YouTube or whatever, and like learned how to do this from, like a lot of their stuff that I would buy for like $3 here could like Goodwill is they would be actually like changing the prices based on what people were buying a lot of. So like everything at Goodwill's in Lincoln are all the same price, which is super nice. And there's not as many
And
people doing
Gretna's
it.
in Omaha are even cheaper.
Gretna's Omaha, they even do like half off, a lot more half off days, all that stuff. But like in Florida and stuff, like there's a large amount of
They
people.
know what like the big brands.
Yeah,
are,
and like some
they'll
shirts
mark
that will you would normally would go buy, they're now selling them for $8-10 in their Goodwill stores, and like people can't.
And they've even
Like-
started selling on apps.
Yeah.
Like they've basically taken this model that we do and Goodwill has like turned it into
Yeah, so
partially
like the
their model.
thrifting business is like it's kind of dying in a way, like to make
for a lot of people.
for a lot of people, yeah,
Not
to like sell
necessarily
used
here.
clothes.
You
on,
could go do it. I mean,
on eBay. Yeah, it's still like it's a good like business, but
Yeah.
it's just not super big numbers. Yeah, but it was good for like the summer and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd go
And
to
that's
Omaha, do
like-
like 8-hour, 10-hour days.
if you
just buying
looked
a
at
ton
our
of stuff.
inventory, like we have buckets of shoes or
shirts.
shirts.
Yeah,
Buckets
I
of shoes.
Buckets of shirts.
We got
like
yeah.
buckets of shoes.
I think the most we ever had at one point was
You know.
probably like close to 400 shirts.
Oh
Yeah.
man!
Yeah.
And you got a
And we've
photographer.
just been like slowly
You gotta
selling
selling
photograph
them
every
as-
single
Photograph
one?
everyone, which is like 5 photos, and then fold package. So like, it's a good model, but it takes a lot of work, and you're not making quite as. It's,
So are
it's
you
high
listening
volume,
to
not as big
a
of profits.
podcast about how to do it while you're like
Sometimes, a lot of podcasts.
I'm always listening to podcasts while I'm driving.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a huge podcast person. I listen to like 3 hours of podcasts a day. Our whole family kind of.
You thrift a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've never really thought about reselling it though.
Yeah,
Right.
you just buy the stuff
I
you
just
like.
talk- Buy stuff I like.
mama.
Yeah.
I've recently thought about that. I was like, maybe because I'm broke or like I'm just like, man, I have a lot of clothes I don't wear. I could definitely like find a way to sell this. I mean, there's just definitely ways. Like Depop is a way you can sell clothes, and that's what Wooloo does. Like at the Bay, he just has like that pop up thrift thing, and he sells a bunch of like vintage clothes, just resells
Yeah.
it.
And that's what
Like,
like
it makes decent money for sure.
Yeah, it does. It's good.
everybody that says like if people ask them what to start with, like you could start with selling your own stuff. That's
Yeah, I mean that's how
That's how you
from like all
started.
this. Yeah, that's how I started. And that's how like from people I've listened to, like there's podcasts like how to sell on eBay, like whatever.
and you can
And like
get
a
so
lot.
much
That's a
more
lot of
money
people's
for
stories
it.
is they just started by selling stuff in their house, and then
Just this
They're like,
giant
okay.
snowball effect.
and then,
of
yeah,
like,
it just kind of keeps going.
And you don't have to do it for like a full-time
Yeah,
job.
there's
or
so
what
many
we
people
do.
that we follow, like on social media and stuff, that they do it in between on their lunch break and just make some extra money, or they think it's fun. A lot of people like thrifting. Like I liked it. I'm not like a. It's not like my type of style, I guess I would say, but like I enjoyed just on the hunt,
Yeah.
flipping through shirts super quickly until I find a good. Like I was so fast at it. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, I literally don't shop for anything. Like, my parents tell me to go get clothes. They're like, you need to buy more. But, like, this I really enjoy doing. So it's weird. It's turned, like, shopping, which is something I never would want to do, into something that I'm like, oh, this is fun now.
it's definitely a totally different take on shopping for sure. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, yes, I spent $700 today. This is, like, the best. It's so much money.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But you're not viewing it as $700. You're
Yeah, I'm
probably
looking
viewing
at
it
it
as
as
$1,400.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's just funny to think about that. It's like, yes, I gotta spend.
But it'd be
so
funny with like
much.
shirts and stuff. Often like bigger sizes sell well because like people
Yeah, you'd
can't
be
find
surprised.
them in stores, so they'll go online. So like I'll be throwing down like size 4XL on the table, and I'm like 6 foot, but I'm pretty skinny and stuff, and they just be like, "What is going on?"
It's
Or
my
like
nightshirt.
or I throw down like 25, just like plaid button ups and something. And it's like, these aren't for you, but they don't know what they're for because they don't know I'm selling it. But it's just like, what is going on?
I wish I could see what this like looks like if you guys at like the Grand Out, like outlet malls, just shopping. You guys have like 4 cars.
Dude, they're
of
on sleuth
shoes.
mode.
You
You wouldn't
can
even
follow
see
us.
them. They're just.
Yeah, we've been like doing an Instagram now, and like we
Yeah.
tried to do. We did like a video and I edited it. It's like 2 minutes long or something.
Yeah. Yeah, pick swap ungated. So pick swap _ungated.
So we can see what it looks
That's like a
On the
Sixers
Insta.
reference.
No, we'll have to.
Swap.
And you
Make it look
recently
good.
had some semi-viral success on TikTok. I heard about.
That's Caleb. I don't do that.
I made a video that now has like 110,000 views.
what? Let's see.
The crazy thing is it's a 13-second video, and people have watched it for 400 hours.
God.
It's literally like it's in like the last month, and it's probably been like people have watched it for like every second of like the last month. I don't know how to explain that, but
Is it related to PickSwap at all, or is it
Kind
just
of.
your own
It was
TikTok?
like, so you can get free boxes from the postal service, and they ship them to your door.
I should
and they have,
explain.
Yeah, you should explain it. I know you did, but
Yeah. So yeah, you can ship like it's crazy. You can ship up to I think you can get 20 packs of 25 boxes
For
shipped to your
free.
door for free because
From the
as long
postal
as you like you're supposed to use them to ship out. So
Postal
if you're
service
like
stuff.
using them to build like a paper fort, like you might get in trouble about that.
and you can't ship like if you're shipping like something paid postage by UPS, but use a United States box.
We made that mistake.
I did that a few times. They didn't,
Somebody commented on Instagram, which is why you need an Instagram. They were like, that's illegal, right?
but
And we're
I did it
like,
probably
"Uh."
like 6 times. Whatever.
That's funny.
Anyway,
But we fixed it.
Moving
get on so many
sides.
But yeah, then so I was doing something about that, and it was like it's kind of like all memes on TikTok, so you have to like go with it. But it's the song where it goes like the original was like yep, nope, yep, nope, and you're supposed to put like comments where it's so hard to explain TikTok, but like you put captions for each thing. So like some people would be like the kid who never parties, and it's like, have you ever drank? Nope. Do you hang out with your friends? Yep. Or something like that.
you're
but-
getting with just
Yeah.
explain what.
The song was like, but this one was like just nope, 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 yep. And I put up like, what type of box do you use as a reseller most? And it was like all the normal boxes. I was going to say like 1095 or shoebox, but
There's just
Don't know
different
what-
sizes that
Yeah.
fit shoe boxes. You like, whatever.
and then the last one, so all those were like nope, and I was like shaking my head and then getting like super frustrated. And then the last one was like a cremation box.
They
And I was
literally
like,
have that
yep,
at the United States Postal Service. It's labeled "Creation Remains." boxes.
cremation.
Cremation
remains box. Yeah.
Like they
Really? They have a
box for that
specific box
on their
for it.
website. Yeah,
yeah.
That's
apparently.
gnarly.
Weird.
And so then like you were like, yep, for like we're gonna use that to ship our shoes, which was like,
And then people in the comments were like, really? Like, I swear people really thought this was serious. And then
That's
I sort of
funny.
like played it off like I was kind of
it
serious.
fits shoes really well.
Like I said,
You burn
this
them.
makes sure that nobody makes returns or something. And people are like, really?
So, does it have? This is intriguing me now. Is there anything inside of the box? It's just like a regular box,
I think it has like a vial or something. And then
like an extra liner or anything like that.
I don't know
We
exactly.
didn't order it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you like
No,
saw it.
it was just
and,
like on the
It-
website.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just like
okay.
on the website. And I was like hitting the camera and like scrolling through
Interesting.
stuff. You can look it up if you go to UPS or USPS.com and then you go to supplies and boxes, you can look it up.
Investigate that.
Interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out
That's
what's
so
going on
weird.
there later. But
Like, okay, so earlier when you guys came in, you were like, asking about his shoes. And is like this a thing that when you guys are going and shopping, looking for shoes, and you're just like, oh, I got actually wear those shoes. Like this, you find yourself shopping for yourselves some of the time.
It's so weird because
he
like
just said he never shops for himself.
This is true.
Like I don't really either. Like
Well,
it's
unless
so
I
hard
go
for
like
me.
every week for a year,
It's
which is
so
how I
hard
got
for me
these.
Yeah, I've kept a couple
But barely
and stuff,
any.
but barely any. And it's like even hard for me. I'm like, okay, these were $60 and they sell for like $110, and I was just like, oh, I could make $30. Do I want to lose 60?
Well, that's the thing.
It was
It's like
so
you're
hard for
finding
me to
them so
choose that.
cheap, but then to us, they're not that cheap because you can make a profit on it. So it's not like, oh, I bought this for $32. It's like, well, it's worth 60.
So every time you put them on, you're like, oh, I'm just taking the value out of this.
yeah, like it's so hard.
It's kind of like driving a Ferrari. You're like, every mile I put on it, I'm just like taking $100 off the price tag.
But I mean, that's just because I have trouble buying anything.
Yeah, we just
so-
don't buy a lot. Just, I don't know, in general.
But yeah, I haven't fallen into that too much. Like some people, I'm sure would just keep everything that they got.
Like if
Or,
these sold
like-
for like a lot, like if I'd be able to make a lot, like there's no way I would. No way I'd
Yeah.
keep them. But yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like, if I find something that's not a good deal, then I'm like, oh, well, like this isn't even a good deal because it could sell. It should be able to sell for less here than it will on eBay. So I'm like, oh, I shouldn't buy that because it's a bad deal. But then if it's a good deal, I'm like, well, it sells for more on eBay, so I could make a profit on this.
So you talk
So-
yourself out of it either way.
Either way,
You
yeah.
lose.
Even if it wasn't like I can make a
'Cause
profit,
if you
I'm
can't
like,
make
oh,
money,
well,
you're
then
like,
this
oh,
is
it's
a
not cheap
sucky
enough.
thing that's not cheap enough.
When you were doing this out of your parents' basement, was there anything that like you brought home, like for example, like the breast pumps? Like I don't know if that was that when you were at your parents, but like you brought home like just like loads of, and then you like your dad's in the kitchen, and then he just sees you like walking on search a bunch of breast pumps. Like does he like what like weird interactions of that like has that like sparked like through doing this?
He probably thought it was weird, but like by the time we got breast pumps, we'd been buying like a lot of shoes, so he's just like, whatever.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't think
it's
anybody
just
was
like the
really
first time-
surprised by anything.
But like the first time we brought like a big haul, like he was definitely like he's super like questionable of like everything. Like he really thinks about literally everything, you know.
Which is
like,
good. Like he's
but
helped
yeah,
us. Like
he's helped
stay
us
out
with
of
taxes and all
messing
like that sort of
stuff
thing.
up.
But like the first time we bought like it was like 10 was like a lot for us of one kind. He was really like, all right, you know. But
Slow
then,
down here. What if they never sell?
exactly, yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I think we've gotten like better at it is just because we've gotten more confident. So now we used to think like, okay, we got 10 of these, like that's a lot. But now if we find something that we really like, we'll buy 50 of them and we'll be like, we're all in because we know it's going to make money. It's automatic money.
Does anybody ever get mad at you?
There are few, but
Like,
not very
Through
many.
eBay or like when we're buying stuff.
Like through eBay.
Yeah, some stupid stuff.
So dumb.
Oh,
Which is
some funny
crazy to
messages
me.
I can't say.
It's crazy to me. Why are people like they
Okay.
are they paying for it and then getting mad, or are they like seeing the prices and they're getting
Like I'll
mad?
explain the.
I'm pretty sure I know which one you're talking about because I sent it to like our cousins group chat or whatever.
We
So-
always have did you talk about with Stark Knives about all the funny comments that they have?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Okay,
We have
so
less than them.
we have a lot less. But there was one where I have two. Because I do like all the responding to messages and stuff for us, and like all the responding to offers.
We kind of have different roles that we
Yeah.
do, which is interesting.
And so we get them in boxes, and we get so many, like they have price stickers because they get marked down and stuff on the shoes, and we're like, we don't take them off. Like
For eBay, Amazon, you would want to take them off, but it would take so long.
And sometimes they're like
it would be
5 layer
ridiculous.
on each other. Like we're not gonna bother. And we maybe twice now of all the shoes we sold we get message. But this one, it was like a pair of LeBron basketball shoes, and they had $34.97 on the box. It was like a half lid box, which means like they're on the back wall. And we sold them for $83, and we shipped them. And I had a message. I could pull it up and read exactly, but basically it was like, how much profit did you make on these? Like
$60,
like $60 on these. I'm leaving bad feedback, which like hurts your account and like lowers your seller level and stuff. It's like, this is ridiculous. And I was like, well, this is what I said. I said, well, this is how the economy works. Nike paid $2 to make those shoes, and they retail for $130. So you saved $70. Don't get mad at me. like our business, like people think it's like a product business. It's a service business.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that, people get that mixed up all the time. Like we take the time, they go find them, post them on, and give other people good deals. Like we save people money by making money.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, what percentage of stuff do you think we sell over retail value?
Maybe 1%. No, like 0.
Well, we've sold like maybe 2 or 3 things. I don't know. There are a few.
0.1%.
But still,
everything is way under
the crazy
retail.
thing about that story is he paid for it.
And he kept
And then
them.
he
It's not
was
like
pressed.
he could have returned them at any time. But he clearly wanted them.
Yeah,
It's just mind blowing to me. It's
He
like
wanted them at the price he paid for them, or else he wouldn't have paid for them. Exactly. Like that's the price he was willing to pay for those shoes. But then he saw that we bought them for less and made money on them, and he got so mad.
Yeah, we've
It's like
even
going to
had other
Starbucks and getting a
sellers.
coffee for $5 and getting mad at them for making you a coffee for $5.
Yeah, if you saw the
'Cause they're-
price tag on there, it said like, oh, 5 cents for coffee beans, and you're like, what?
It's just literally,
And it had
it's
on the
so
box
simple.
too.
Literally
It also has
This
on the
is how
box
water-
retail
this is how the
$140.
world works. Like, what?
And we've even had other people comment who like sell stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you should probably take your price tags off."
They're
We're
like,
like, we're not taking the time to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you had 2 bad reviews and selling like 500 pairs.
And then
I mean,
another
like,
one was, well, there's one that I just, the only part that's funny, I'm just not going to say it. It was, and then the other one was like a calculator that I sold. And I clearly put in the title, just a calculator, no charger, no manual. And he messaged me 2 times before he paid for it. Is it just a calculator? I'm like, yes, just a calculator. That's all it is. It works fully, like perfect. It's just a calculator. He gets it. He starts cussing me out. He's like, there's no charger or manual. I was like, are you serious? Like, what? There's people, I swear. I'm like, I screenshotted all the messages that we had sent back and forth to each other, circled me saying just calculator, sent him. He just never replied.
Yeah, I even had somebody on like a TikTok video was like, "Oh, you should stop ripping people off and get a real job." I'm like, I sell almost everything I do at 40% off retail. Like, it's not.
People just don't understand, which is fine. Like, I'm not gonna quit because something gets.
You're making
like,
money over
and
here. Come on.
everything on eBay is cheaper. Like, you can't find
Everything.
these deals anywhere else because it's everything on there is somebody went to the Nike outlet or somewhere else and they found the cheapest possible thing, and now they can sell it for more.
Would you rather shop from your bedroom and buy something with one click?
Yeah,
For
or,
less, or go to the
less.
store and pay more.
or get up at
It's
6 a.m. and drive there and learn all the knowledge and figure things out, and then you can buy that one pair of shoes that you wanted.
Well, yeah, and the
It's
other
like,
thing,
do you want the convenience, or do you want to actually take the year and a half of time or whatever to like understand how to do it?
and it's also not like you can't find the shoe that we found. Like, you can find that in 2 of the 230 Nike outlets across the country for a good price. So it's not
They're
like
all different, yeah.
yeah, it's not like they all have the same stuff. So it's even us, we're supplying like the whole or half of the eBay market just with our one outlet or something, because we found that specific shoe at that specific price and nobody else has that. There are stuff that they have at almost every one, but the good stuff is the stuff that they don't have at almost any place anymore.
I remember like the first time you told me you were going to like Shopcoat, and then it was like, yeah, I just bought a bunch of Nicorette gum. I was like,
that was like the most questionable thing we've sold too. So
I've just like never I never thought, like, I've known you guys my whole life. I never thought like you two would be the people that were like going to stores and finding stuff cheaper and then reselling them. Like I just didn't, I didn't think that.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
It's like funny because I didn't wake up one morning think I was gonna.
For sure.
It just grew from something so small and like, it's so weird.
Money. And you're like, okay, can I do this again but bigger this time?
Yeah.
But I think that the origin of it is actually more normal than you think, because yes, it was like a thing that you said I was just super spur of the moment, but you said before it was like, I like my independence.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
true.
my freedom. I'd like to make money making my own schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, when you're 17, there's very few things that you could
Yeah, for sure.
do that would have all three of those things, you know?
Well, and I always think too, like the opportunity that we have is like we don't need to use the money for anything else.
Yeah, we
So,
haven't
like,
taken
we
a
were-
single dollar out for ourselves.
We were probably not cash positive where we actually had more money in our bank account than we started with. Like we put $100 or $1,000 into a bank account at some point.
5 months in of the
Yeah,
very beginning. So 2
something
months
like
after
that.
you joined it, kind of started
And
becoming a business.
We didn't have more than $5,000 in it for the first 12 months.
Yeah,
Because you're
everything
just
we-
buying and
Everything
and
we
we
would
were like so
make, we
fortunate
just go
to be
buy.
able to do that.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
definitely
like
a luck factor that definitely
it's totally
propelled the growth,
changed
like
how we can
made it a
do
lot
the
faster
business.
because we didn't like we're young and like super fortunate and blessed, just like with our family and stuff that like we just all we had to think about was how we're gonna finance the money for the business and not like personal life
But
and
it's
stuff.
also not like a rich thing. Like most of the people, I think, like of all the people we
well, yeah, because it's a
follow
business
on
that turns into
Instagram,
instant profit. It's not you invest thousands of dollars into a product you're producing and hope it
hope it
you
sells.
buy it and you sell it. I
of
guess,
all
so.
the people that I've seen on Instagram, most of them are, or like that we follow on YouTube or something, most of them were like not high income people. Like there was the one guy that we probably learned the most from
For
I can just
selling
say-
shoes.
yeah, well, not selling shoes necessarily, but resales.
yeah.
Like he started, I think he had a kid at 15 and he's still married to the person he had the kid with. And he started selling books on Amazon years ago, because that's how Amazon started. It was a book selling company. And you guys should go like follow him if you're into this stuff. Like you can find
Shout
him
him
on
out.
YouTube and stuff. Yeah, it's Reezy Resells. He has really cool YouTube videos and stuff. But he like was able to just flip small things from 15, and like he was totally broke, and he has now turned into something that's making him $100,000 a year or something.
Oh,
or
way
more than that. Yeah.
way more than that.
Yeah,
and he has like a whole brand around him and stuff.
And
Probably
so
like a lot.
it's
Yeah,
like a
there's-
really cool thing that people, and it's just also an extra money thing, like the thrifting thing. The number of people who are just making like $100 or $200 a month on this, and that income is like getting them to be
Yeah,
able to
super
not
cool.
have less debt or like be able to feed their family or something is really crazy. So it doesn't have to be something like that. It can kind of be just like a small thing that can
Yeah, it's
help
nice,
you make a
'cause,
little
like,
extra cash.
You get paid by the hours you put in, but it's like it's the hours you put in. It's not no matter how hard you work at your job, you're getting paid the same amount. That's something I like a lot. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I've always been like a super hard worker in like sports and stuff, and like I just enjoy like if I work super hard for 7 hours today, like I'm gonna make more money if I just didn't do anything for 7 hours if I stood around at a McDonald's or something, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
And like I like that aspect about it. Like I like putting my mind to something and just working super hard. And then I don't know.
Yeah, I actually did. I've bought and sold stuff forever. But
Yeah.
I like what I did was when I was on tour, I would buy stuff in whatever weird cities that we would stop in.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would like buy a car and then like when I'd get home, then I'd fix it up and I'd sell it before I'd get on tour again. So like I would do all that.
Yeah.
Like kind of similar stuff.
Mhm.
But a lot of the people that I played with too, like musicians, like we had one guy that we played with that I don't know how many thousands of dollars he made on the road because he would go to every single music store in every single town that we went to, and he would find stuff that people didn't know what they were. Like they wouldn't know like a certain amp was like a 1970,
That's exactly.
you know, something like that, and like take it and then he would direct ship it to like people on
Yeah.
eBay.
Well, there's
and do that all
There's
the
so
time.
many aspects of like this reselling online like game. Like there's people that like us, like it doesn't for like the shoes, it doesn't really take a lot of knowledge, I would say. Like it does like how to do the process. But like even compared to like thrifting shirts, you have to memorize like
Yeah,
I could flip through a whole rack of shirts.
I don't know anything about
he doesn't
thrifting
like
shirts.
yeah, and I can flip through a whole rack of shirts, and that took weeks and months of like just doing it and looking up a ton of stuff to the point where I could flip through 3 racks and maybe have to look up 3 things instead of having to look up every single shirt that I see. And so like you just memorize brands and like styles and stuff. And so like stuff like you were saying, like I would have no clue. And like there's people that do garage selling, which is similar
Yeah.
to like the amp and stuff. And that's a whole different game. You have to know like literally everything if it's worth it. And you can people can just look at
It
something
doesn't
and
have
say
a barcode or it's not new.
that's probably valuable. Like I would never be able to do that.
And
Yeah, he'd
garage
like-
sailing in Nebraska is terrible. I tried.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's terrible.
It's
He
you can't find anything.
he was crazy. We were in I think it was like middle of nowhere, like Indiana. Like like everybody thinks Nebraska's
Scary
bad.
Gary, Indiana.
Like no, none of that. Like it was terrible. Like Indiana's awful. Sorry for anybody who's from Indiana that's listening to this, but Indiana's awful.
This is the Link podcast. Come on. Now.
Yeah. Anyway, but he bought something at this tiny little town, this tiny little store, and it was this guitar that was like a 1960s, like not even a big name. Like it wasn't a Gibson, it wasn't like a Fender, like it wasn't.
About those
It wasn't
from
like
Business Wars.
it wasn't like well known by any means, and it had this ratty case, and he like walked out and he threw it under the bus, and I was like, why did you buy that? And he's like, that thing's worth $5,000 and I just paid $500 for it. And I was like, whatever. And then like he like got out his laptop, got on eBay, and he was like, this one just sold for $5,500. And I was like, sweet. And
Who
then
is
he
this?
like direct shipped it the next day from our next tour stop.
Yeah, I've heard of people like RVing and they sell from
Just
their
do the
RV.
same thing. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
What?
he would always do that type of stuff. And then that's when I was kind of like, I had already been buying and selling just random stuff, but I was like, oh, this could be really cool.
Yeah, to me it's just the most like pure form of like business. It's like you said, it's super complicated. To me, it's like the most simple thing you could do. It's just you're buying something and then selling it for more.
For sure.
And it's like, yeah, and I think like I have other things that I'd like to do eventually in business. I don't know what they are, but I feel like it's a super good thing to just get me to learn how business overall works in a
I've
practical
learned
sense.
more doing this than I have all through elementary, middle school, and high school.
Wow, sure. I would say that. Like that's useful.
You learned how to read
know
and
if I'd
write
say
because of
that.
this?
I don't think
Okay.
I'd be able to do this if I couldn't.
Well, you get what
Actually,
I'm
it's pretty
saying.
easy.
You learn more about life,
Yeah.
like
And just,
the,
like-
the business of life.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody who doesn't know really what they want to do in life,
Me neither.
I
This
am
is what I wanna
so
do.
glad that I have this because I would just be like so unconfident with
Just
myself and my
fluttering
future
around.
because at least I know, like, it's even helped me just put things in perspective of money. Like, I understand now, like what it takes to make $3,000, or like when I'm thinking about buying a house or something, I'm like, okay, it would take me like this many months at this point to like have that money or
To sell
to
this
spend
many
this
shoes.
or
And
sell
like,
this. Yeah. But it's just like, instead of, I don't know if people get that sense from working at McDonald's or something. I guess you can say like, oh, well, I can work this many hours, but
Well, it's the whole thing of like trading hours for dollars at that point, where it's like people, all they're gonna look at is what's their hourly rate. Like,
yeah.
is it $15 an hour? Is it $9 an hour? But you're looking at it going, my hourly rate doesn't matter, because if I buy 35 shoes and I sell them for 20 times what I paid for them, that's going to equate to a lot more dollars per hour.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to calculate. It's
It's impossible.
It's
to
better
Yeah,
than
it's
$7
impossible to
an hour.
calculate, but I'm just
tried to
saying,
do it, I
like,
was
that's
why
the
am I
key
doing
to it.
this?
That's why
Yeah.
you can make more doing that.
And like
Because there are
big,
times the last 2 weeks I found maybe 2 pairs of shoes at the outlets, and I drove all the way out there, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. I spent 2 hours in the store, and I found almost nothing. And then the last week I found like, I don't know, 20 pairs or something. So it's just so different.
and I feel like that's a good business principle too. It's
Yeah.
like, you're not going to make money every single time, and you're not going to be
it's
successful
not like we just show
every
up. We're
single
like,
time.
we're gonna take these and these, and then walk out. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you get lucky. But it's just you have to be consistent and like keep focused, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is the thing.
And it
You
helps when
just
you
have
have
to-
like, we both enjoy doing this.
For sure.
Like if this, like you're like, ooh, this sounds like it's not like a get money quick scheme. There's no such thing as a get money quick scheme.
Yeah.
And that's what
a
a lot of people think this
I
is.
thought of it as that too. The first time I went, I was like, holy cow, I can make so much. And then
You see all these shoes in the store and you're like,
well, and
dang.
even like what we were buying.
and then you get one thing, like, oh, and it doesn't sell for 6 months. You're like,
But even
oh.
what we were buying, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then when you start scaling it and stuff, you're like, oh, like this is just a normal job, except I enjoy doing it. And so, yeah, it's just a different way of looking at it.
That's super cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you wanna plug? Again, it's Pick Swap Ungated on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's people like ask like how can like they don't ask how I can support you, but like it's not like, oh, go buy my product.
For sure.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
to support.
yeah.
Like with Benny and like Philip and stuff, it's like, oh, like buy our knives. Like us, it's like I don't know.
No, I think
But-
followers are valid.
No,
because
yeah.
then
And I
you know,
guess
like,
you
people
can
are
go to
learning.
our like we have like a store on eBay.
Yeah.
But like
But seriously, we've sold what on eBay? We've sold one thing in Lincoln,
yeah,
and it was just the other week.
And if you want, if somebody wants purple sneakers, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like people think like, oh yeah, I'll just come to your house sometime and get some shoes. I'm like, I probably don't have something that you want in your size. Like I have a ton of shoes, but it's not.
yeah.
I got
that
these
many that
16
it's like,
cleats. You want
Yeah.
those?
And like promoting like your brand to like I don't know, like people like just the eBay and Amazon market is so big. It's not worth it. Like go to our eBay store. Like there's millions of people on eBay and Amazon every day. Like 20 more people from seeing your Instagram post, like that's not gonna make a difference.
yeah, there are some people who try to sell on Instagram, and I'm like, you have 26 followers. Like I couldn't sell something to my 2,000 followers. I couldn't sell one thing if I posted.
yeah, like people post like
couldn't
a
sell one
shirt,
thing.
like a thrifted
And
shirt.
people
or
are like,
something.
oh, buy that. I'm like, this
Just
is
post
never
it on
gonna work.
eBay.
That's super. It's so interesting because
Because people don't think about it. Like people don't people will go and try and like I see people selling. I buy stuff from people selling on Facebook Marketplace, Let Go, and sell it. I'm like, why are they just not? I mean, I'm not complaining, but they're just not doing it
it's
right.
super interesting because that's like Stark Knives opposite.
Yeah.
Because it's like all of their stuff is like they said like what 60-70% of their stuff is sold on Instagram.
But like,
Yeah.
I would imagine a lot through Instagram.
And then the rest is through like their website, which is also self promotion.
Advertise
Which is
on
really
Instagram,
cool.
Reddit.
The amount of like I have so much respect for how
That's
they
so much
can
harder to
do
do.
that in sales. It's incredible that they can build that many organic sales with, I mean, it's so difficult when people try to decouple their sales from Amazon to eBay. Like if you have 25% off of there, it's incredible. Like that's really good margins. To have 100% and do those type of sales is really incredible.
That's cool. Well, thanks
Appreciate you
again,
guys
guys.
sharing.
Yeah.
We will let you know when this is up.
Yeah,
Cool.
We'll have to see.
Namaste.
I almost thought we were gonna pray at the end.
We can.
You'd like.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. That was good.
Sold something. That's cool.
What'd you say?
Sold something.